everybody, welcome back to the channel here. Made a little progress on this little short 4x4 display. I'm getting some gravel laid down and thought I'd share how I do it. It's pretty simple. I just use Elmer's white glue, old paintbrush, and this Woodland Scenics Fine ballast. This is the gray color. They have a bunch of different colors. This is the smallest they have, and I think it's the most accurate for 1/64 scale anyway. They have different sizes and things like that, but this is about the smallest you can get. So what I'll do here, I'll just spread some glue out where I want the rock to be, spread it out with my paintbrush, and just spread on the rock here. So I'll get you set up and show you how I do it. All right. A lot of guys dilute this glue. I think they just use some water and mix it up, but I never have. I've just spread it on just like it is. It is a little bit harder to spread, but I've never had trouble with it. It seems to stick pretty good. So I do use quite a bit, and I just work in sections. Not wanting to come out very good. Okay. And just take your paintbrush, spread it out. Make sure you get every little spot, because if you don't, the gravel will not stick. Okay. Just spread your gravel on. Doesn't have to be perfect, because I'll smooth it out with my hand here in just a second. Just lightly run it back and forth. That should smooth out pretty nice. Now another thing, I do not put gravel all the way to where I've already put glue down. It just saves your paintbrush from getting a bunch of gravel in it. So when I come back with my next pass of glue, it should be easier to spread the glue out and not get a bunch of clumps of gravel. So just leave you a strip of glue right here with no gravel attached, and it'll go a lot cleaner for you. So we'll do this last little section here. glue is not wanting to come out of this bottle. And that's what it looks like here once I got the all the gravel spread here. This whole part here is going to be concrete, so I did not gravel that. I'll come back in with some concrete paint and paint that. But the next step here, we'll let this dry, probably let it dry overnight, and I'll come back with a vacuum and just kind of lightly go over it and get all the excess. And what'll happen is it will probably bring up some bare spots. So what I'll do is I'll just take the glue and paintbrush again and dab that area, put a little more gravel down, and repeat that process with the vacuum, suck up the extra. And once we're done with that, we'll come back in with some, it's called Scenic Cement. I don't have any at the moment, I've got some coming. And that just comes in a spray bottle, and you just spray that all around it and it will set it up just like this here. And that's not coming up, so it really makes it stick. It sticks to itself, and won't have any problems with it coming up and making a mess of your tires and everything. So you can see kind of right here where it's thin, glue probably didn't get all the way down on that, so the vacuum will suck up the excess and come back in and patch it in, make it look nice. And it does not have to be perfect, because I mean it is just a gravel lot, so you're gonna have potholes and bare spots and things like that. That's why you put down the gray paint ahead of time, so if there is some light spots, it's not as noticeable to see, and kind of makes it look like a pothole or something. So all right, so it's a few days later. I've got all the gravel down. I've went back and patched in a few light areas. It's probably as good as I'm going to get it. You can still see kind of, you know, just where I did each section, but there's going to be so much equipment on this that you're probably not going to see it. So the next step is I've decided I'm going to add some weeds, basically just where the equipment sits. I'm going to leave like the driveways clear of weeds, and just the low traffic areas I'm going to add some green. So how I'm going to do that is I have some leftover static grass, and I'm just going to sprinkle it in where the equipment sits. So there'll be a row here and another row here, and then there'll basically be all the way on this back side here, there'll be a line of equipment. So I'm just going to, before I lay down the scenic cement that I talked about earlier, I'm going to just sprinkle that in a little bit, and then we'll spray it down, and it should cure up and shouldn't come up when you run your hand across it. So I'll go ahead and get that the grass spread out, and catch back up with you then. Okay, I've got that sprinkled on there, so you can kind of see where the equipment's going to be sitting. Basically right here, there, and all along that back part there, the back lot, I guess you could call it. So I think the next step is to take our scenic cement, which that looks like that there. Get it from Woodland Scenics. 16-ounce bottle. You can get a spray bottle from them, but I don't know, I just found that one at the store real cheap, and it works okay. So basically we'll just coat the whole area, the whole gravel area. You don't need to coat anything else, but it won't hurt to get anything that you don't want sprayed. It just dries clear. So yep, I'll get this sprayed, and we'll come back when it's dry. Probably let it sit another day, and might have to go back over it one more time just to make sure that everything is coated, because it is a big area. So yep, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, I've got everything sprayed down. You can see how wet it looks. Got everything doused in that stuff. So I guess the next step will be, once this dries, I'll get the my concrete paint, and we'll paint all this area here, and it'll look like concrete, kind of like I did in my shop on my display. So this will be concrete drive here, another little section of concrete right here turns into the gravel. I'll grab some of that to show you what that's like. That's also from Woodland Scenics. Here it is. Just brush it on. I like to do 2 coats. Like one coat just doesn't get it very realistic. You can see all the brush strokes in the first coat, and second coat it really takes them all out. So works good. I've always used it for shop floors, and rather than using plywood or a thin piece of wood for the base, I just like to paint the actual board and go from there. That way there's not a big lip where the trucks would enter. So Yep, we'll let this dry overnight and come back, check it out, make sure it looks good and nothing's gonna peel up on me, and then we'll get to painting that shop floor. So, all right, it's next day here. The Scenic Cement has cured up overnight. It's did its job. It's really stuck that down to the board, the rock and everything. I went ahead and put one coat of the concrete paint down. Just did that so it's still wet. Come back with another coat later on, and then that'll be done probably. So I guess the next step is, since I'm done with the gravel and everything, I can put all the equipment down here, and I'll be putting a little bit of static grass here and here. I probably won't film that. There's a bunch of videos on that already on YouTube, so yep, I'll go ahead and start putting some equipment on here, get my workbench back, so that'll be nice to have some more space to work. All right, so got everything laid out here. It's pretty good on there. Really can't hardly see all the weeds I put down, but it's all right. Got the company vehicles here, and a couple more here. These probably will go over towards the shop when I get it built. Still got to do that yet. Probably start working on that this afternoon. But it's coming together. I'll do a video again once I get it done, and kind of go over some of the pieces of equipment on here. Some of them are customs, and some are just right out of the package, and kind of explain the backstory on this display at a later time. That'll probably about wrap it up for this one. It's probably long enough. A couple days worth of filming and piecing together. Next video I'll do on this will probably be almost about done. So I'll get to working on the shop and office area, and lay down a little bit of grass, and that'll about be it. I'm working on a forklift now for it. I'm taking one apart and repainting it. So, all right, that'll do it for this one. Hope this helps with, this is how I spread the gravel, and there's really no wrong way to do it. It just, this is fairly cost effective, and works good. So, have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I'll get back with you on those. Thank you all for watching.